Hey guys, Jesse here with JP Outdoors, and today I'm doing an overnight winter camping trip. It's going to be a good time. Make sure you guys stick around. Alright, we made it to the campsite. Gotta make one more trip up to the truck, go get my sleeping bag and just a couple odds and ends. Alright, ground's a little wet, so we're gonna hang this thing up off the ground until we get everything set up and situated. Alright, so I did not bring a tent with me this go around. I just brought a tarp. So I'm gonna try something I've never done before and just use a tarp, make a shelter, and camp out for the night. So my plan is to use these two trees here. I'm gonna make a plow point shelter with the tarp. I've got this little emergency blanket here. I think I'm gonna lay that across the ground to just lay all my gear on, that way it doesn't get wet and I can just kind of access it a lot easier than digging around in this backpack. Alright, so I'm not a big knot guy, but I think this is a trekker's hitch. And what I'm going to do is I loop this around and brought it through this loop. That way I can cinch this down super tight. That should be alright. It's not crazy tight, but it's tight enough for what we need. Alright, now that we've got one corner of it tied off, now we got to stretch all three of these ends out and stake them down. I'm going to clean the inside of that out, that way I don't have anything poking me throughout the night, and then we'll lay our bedding down. Probably should have just done this before I put the tarp up, but that's all right. All right, the ground's pretty wet. I do have a rain poncho that can double as just kind of a layer, a protective layer for my bedding. I don't want that in there. That might not feel real good. Alright, next I got one of these ISO mats. Just kind of a nice barrier between me and the ground. And then I've got this blow up mat that I'm going to put on top of this ISO mat. All right, camp's pretty much set up. Now we got to start getting some wood. I need to find a good hanger for my lantern, and then we're going to start finding some good firewood for tonight. That should do right there for a hanger. Alright, I got my spices in here, some fire starter, gotta have my earplugs, some oil. Alright, first we gotta get some dry tinder. And what I'm looking for is just anything that snaps, that's got a nice snap to it. Just like that. Alright, the ground's super wet, so I cleared my camping gear off of this emergency blanket, and I'm going to lay all my tinder on this so it don't get wet. Well, I've only got about three armfuls. And I'm pretty whooped. So I'm gonna get this wood back to camp and then start cutting some more. Well, it started sleeting outside. Not crazy heavy, but heavy enough to where I don't want to get my clothes wet. It's gonna make for a rough night if I get my clothes wet. Just gonna wait this out for a little bit. Alright, I can't sit still long enough. There we go. Alright, I got my fire starter here. I've got the smallest, a little bit bigger, and then I've got this over here. That should be alright for a little bit tonight, at least to make something to eat. I think what I'm going to do is, that way this doesn't get wet because it's going to be a while before I make a fire. I'm going to wrap it up. That way it don't get wet. Got some old frozen up oyster mushrooms here. I wish we would have got those when they were good. It probably would have been pretty good eating. Alright, like I said before, I've never done one of these plow point tents before. And the more I look at it, the more I feel like it needs to be just a little lower, so I can have some more room inside. If I bring this down just a little bit, maybe to right here, the string, I feel like those sides can get spread out longer. That way I've got more room underneath it. All right, I think that's a little bit better. I went down about, I don't know, 7 or 8 inches, and it gave me a little bit more space on the sides. It's gonna start getting pretty chilly out. I can already feel the temperature dropping. It's gonna get down into the 20s. So what I have here is I was contacted by a company named Ororo, and they have heated clothing apparel, and they're battery powered. They sent me some camo pants. I got to reading on it. It looks like maybe it'll last right around 10 hours. I think this is going to do a pretty good job at keeping me warm tonight. So without further ado, let's get changed into these. Alright guys, first impressions, they're super comfortable. Come with this nice carrying bag, and they came with a really nice battery pack. It's got a little indicator on here to show you how charged it is. All right, so how you use these? They got a zipper pocket. And there's a cord here that you just plug into the battery pack. You hold down on the button here, and then it's ready to go. And there's different settings for how hot or warm you want it. We're going to test this out tonight once it starts getting real cold. So I got to thinking, there's a lot of logs out here. If I can get some of these longer ones that are manageable, I might stack them up and make a little windbreak for my fire. Not too shabby. Could do it a little higher, but that'll be all right. All right, I'm gonna do a nice base layer here. These Zip fire starters work amazing. They will start with a flint. They're great. I use them all the time. So once that starts, I'm gonna put this over it. Oh no, broke it. Oh. There we go. There we go. Alright, now we're just going to gradually put bigger and bigger pieces on it. And we should have a pretty good fire. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is get all this wood over here and stack it up and line it up along this to dry it out. These emergency blankets are awesome. They've got so many uses. I mean, I've just got straight mud down here, and if I didn't have this thing to kneel down on, I'd just be squatting the whole time, and my knees would be hurting, my calves. So it's got a lot of uses. And it's literally just like a Mylar balloon is what they make it out of. Just a big old Mylar balloon. Got quite a bit of kindling here. It's really dry. I mean, it just breaks right in half. And it burns good. Because this is just wanting to smolder anytime I put anything bigger than, you know, this or maybe a little bigger. So hopefully I can get a good fire and maybe dry this wood out a little bit, get it real hot. Well, I must have blew a coal on this emergency blanket. It burnt right through this thing. Alright guys, on the menu for today, got some deer backstrap, and I've got some potatoes with butter and seasoning. It's gonna be good. Alright, I'm gonna just sit these right on the fire here. Or right on the coals, I should say. And we'll leave that on there for, I don't know, about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, somewhere around there. But, you know what, I might as well cook it all. Well, it's starting to snow. Or sleet, I should say. But my bedding is all dry. Let's hope it stays that way. While we wait for those potatoes to get done, I'm gonna try to fix something here. Every time I sit down, this goes into the mud. So I'm gonna put a little base underneath it. I found this old jug earlier today, and I think if I just cut that base off there and put it underneath that foot, I think it should keep me from going down into the mud. Alright, much better. I wish I would have done that way long ago. Oh yeah, it's starting to puff up now. Shouldn't be too much longer. And I'll set it aside, put my grate up, and start cooking those back straps. Alright, I just bought this little backpacking grate. And I kind of like it. I haven't used it yet, but I think it's going to work out pretty darn good. Hopefully they don't fall through the grate. That's my worry. So I wasn't thinking to bring a cutting board, so I had to use the only plate that I have, and it's got deer blood all over it. So I'm hoping that this will kill all the bacteria on it. We'll see. If not, I guess I'll be sick for a day or so. Yeah, it'll be alright. Starting to snow a little bit more. Nothing too crazy. But I'm glad I built this thing, and I think it's going to keep me pretty dry tonight. It got burned a little bit, but that's alright. I probably shouldn't have put the littlest one in the center. I didn't think it was supposed to snow tonight, but apparently there's some snow. So I'm good with it. It just kind of adds to the fun. So just some finishing touches. Open these up. Let's take a look at them. Oh yeah. Yep, those are done. Get this fire started again, that way I'm not having to work so hard to get it started after I get done eating. Got this deer backstrap here, let's try it. Wow. That's phenomenal. Don't get no better than that. All right, let's try these potatoes now. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Really buttery, got the perfect amount of seasoning on it. I put some Slap Your Mama on it. Surprise, surprise. And it's really good. I prepped this before I came and just put it in foil. Figured it'd be really easy to just throw in my backpack. And I'm glad I did. Hear all that snow falling off the tarp here. Alright guys, I'm going to finish my dinner, and I'll just sit around the fire and take it easy and probably listen to some music. Catch back up with you guys here in a bit. Alright guys, it's starting to get a little chilly out. Probably high 20s. I'm gonna try these pants out and turn them on and see how they work out. All right, fully charged. Yeah, we'll try that one. See how hot it gets, and I'm sure red's the hottest. I'll tell you what, it's been about, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, and God, these pants are warm. This is going to be awesome tonight when I'm in that sleeping bag. I don't want to waste my battery. I'm going to shut them off. I just want to make sure that they worked. Well, I think it's been a pretty successful trip so far. Now, I'm sure that there's some things that I could have done different. I'm not a professional, and I don't I don't claim to be. I just like the outdoors, and I come outdoors, and I learn from my mistakes and just come out here and have a good time. So if there's some things that I could have done different, then by all means, let me know in the comment section. Let me know what I could have done different. I'll tell you what though, that fire is going pretty darn good. And it feels good. It's gotten to the point to where I can just go and get some dead wood on the ground and throw it on there, and it dries it out enough to where it starts burning. So that's good. Makes it a lot easier than having to split it. Well, I'm running pretty low on wood, so I'm gonna go try to go get some more. So I'd like this thing to start rolling. My fire spread over to the heat shield, but it's alright. We've got nothing around. We'll let her burn. I got to looking at my GoPro stand here, and I think it's about time to get a new one. It's getting broke. I've got it cracked on one side. I got a 550 cord on the other. Yeah, I probably better order one. She's rolling now. Tell you what, there ain't nothing better than a good fire in the wintertime. Alright guys, it's about 11:30. I think I'm gonna crawl into bed. Definitely want to put my boots inside of each other. That way I don't get wet in the morning. Just like that. I'm going to turn these on. That should keep me pretty warm for the night. Alright guys, I'm all tucked in, I'm warm. These heated pants are awesome. It's been like 2 minutes and it's already warm in this blanket, so I'm gonna get some sleep and we'll get up in the morning, make some breakfast, and just kind of play it by ear. Might do some hunting, we'll see. See you guys in the morning. You hear the coyotes howling. Yeah, it's about 1:30 in the morning. They're pretty darn close. I don't know if you guys can hear that on the camera or not, but these woods are packed full of coyotes. But they ain't gonna bother us. Still pretty cool to listen to though. Good morning, everybody. I slept like a baby last night. It's about 9 or 9:30. My phone's almost dead. I can't remember what time it was. But I know it's around 9. I slept for, well, I went to bed at 11:30, so I did some sleeping. I was warm last night. These pants were awesome, especially just to put some initial heat in this bag. You turn these pants on and it was warm. I didn't get cold at all last night between the pants and the sleeping bag. It was nice. Only issue I had was I did a lot of moving around. I just do when I'm sleeping. And I kicked one of my tent stakes out. But other than that, I slept pretty darn good. Yeah, that's what I did here. I just kicked that stake out. So I really didn't even only had half a shelter. So, but I couldn't even tell overnight because I was just sleeping away. Well, we must have had some squirrels up by camp last night, or this morning rather. Little squirrel tracks all the way down this. You guys heard of soap on a rope, but have you heard of bacon on a rope? I doubt it. That will probably be good. Make some coffee as well. And I got some pancakes with butter. Still hot. I bet I can probably get this to burn up. Use a little piece of this just to help me out a little bit. There we go. Got a little bottle of syrup from Cracker Barrel in a glass bottle, so I'm just going to heat this up over by the fire just a little bit. Not a huge meal, but I tell you what, it's better than not eating anything. Time to eat. Oh man, that's good. It's so much easier bringing pre-made pancakes instead of having to make batter and all that. Like, this took 3 minutes and they're just as good. That bacon's really good too. It's really fatty, but if you cook it just right, it just melts in your mouth. Well, breakfast is done. And man, was that good. That was really good. That hit the spot. Well, I know I said before I went to bed last night that I might do some hunting, but I got to looking at my my battery pack, and I have like 1 battery left. So I don't think that's gonna happen today. But you guys stay tuned. I'll do some more squirrel hunting, camping videos. Either way, I had a great time. It was a successful trip. I didn't freeze my butt off, and a lot of that was thanks to this Ororo heated apparel. Man, I'll tell you what, that kept me warm last night. It definitely did the trick. So if you guys are interested in their heated apparel line, make sure you guys check the comment section below, and I will put a link to their website. They've got a whole bunch of different heated apparel, pants, gloves, vests, jackets, all that. So check them out. They got a lot of cool stuff. Well, guys, I think it's probably time to start packing things up and loading stuff up to the truck. So before my battery dies. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I had a blast. If you guys like these type of videos, make sure you click subscribe. That way I can justify to my wife that I can keep coming out here and doing this type of stuff. So I appreciate all the support from you guys. And you guys stay tuned for more videos from JP Outdoors. We'll see you guys next time.